How can you possibly give a hoot about the Marvel Cinematic Universe when we already exist in the Mighty Ducks Cinematic Universe? They made 3 of these puppies somehow, and they say good things come in threes, and boy does the little team from District 5 fit that mold. Today we count down the top 10 characters from this epic trilogy, so strap in, you cake eater. Number 10, Charlie Conway. Pacey, dead last. You say he's the star of the movie, but only on camera. In reality, this guy is about as soft as they come. If it wasn't going to be such an unpopular move, I would have left him off the list entirely. That is how much I can't stand him. First of all, the triple deke, yeah, that's called stick handling, all right? Not a deke. No goalie would ever fall for that. It is ludicrous. But the real reason he's last on the list, it's this little nugget. At the end of the first movie, Coach Bombay hooks up with his mom. And then in the second movie, she is nowhere to be found, and he went on dates with that knockout from Iceland. Do you remember? What happened? Like, how does Charlie let that slide with his coach and his mom? You are an embarrassment, Charlie, and it's got nothing to do with the triple deke. Number 9, Goldberg. For real, can we even say that Goldberg is a goalie? I don't even think we can say he's a hockey player. Like, he has got the reflexes of my dinner and the ice awareness of an actual duck, like a real duck. He is a pure liability, end of story. Look, you cannot win hockey games if you don't have confidence in the guy between the pipes. That's a fact. And this guy is the human embodiment of uncertainty. And I get it, when you're outside the room talking to the media, you gotta hype your boy up. I get it. But in private, you know every player couldn't wait to see him get cut. It just never happened. I guess he's kind of funny, but the other players make you laugh too. So again, what's this guy doing here? It makes no sense. Number 8, Averman. Speaking of making you laugh, we've got Averman. Like, this 12-year-old is crushing dad jokes like a 40-year-old, and I will spot him that. Hey, are those New Balance brand skates? I didn't know they made skates. Did you know that his name was Lester? That absolutely reinforces the dad brand he's got going on. And much respect for hitting the demographic, Disney. Well done. The main issue is, well, there's 2 main issues, right? First, he can't deal with opposing enforcers, and that's a problem for your teammates. It's also tough to understand when you come out of Minnesota minor hockey. That's a tough school, right? He's also seemingly constantly injured in the movies. Like, the guy is super soft, full stop. Sure, he pots a goal from time to time, but that's about it. So let's just say I'm not too enthusiastic about my Lester Averman rookie card, because this guy is barely scraping onto a power play unit. Number 7, Germaine. Germaine is a real mixed bag for me, to be honest. It's a tough one. First off, he wears 00 on the ice. Is that even legal? If it is, that's badass and more people should do it. The good thing about him is he's probably the second most actually talented player on the Ducks behind Adam Banks. But I think when Banksy came over to the squad, it put a real chip on Guy's shoulder, and he never really got rid of it. He never gelled back in. It's got nothing to do with him personally, but demonstrating the kind of casual racism you could get away with in the early 90s, he was 1/3 of the so-called Oreo line with the Hall brothers. It's not his fault, but that didn't age well. Germaine is also lower on this list because he took a real hit in my eyes in the second movie. His main squeeze, Connie Moreau, who we'll be coming back to, took a shine to Luis Mendoza, and our boy Guy got a little jealous. Even he became confrontational. So Connie, all I'm going to say, be careful around that one. Number 6, Dwayne Robertson. So he's a cowboy, yeah, cool stereotype, but Disney, unfortunately, you made him from Austin, which is about the least cowboy place in Texas. Even though they like to joke around about the lasso skills, I think it's key because it's indicative of his hands, all right? That boy has silky mitts on the ice, no doubt about it. The problem is he knows he's got those soft hands with the puck, and he gets so caught up in his own moves that he shows a real lack of ice awareness. Gotta learn to pass the puck, Dwayne. You gotta learn to pass. Get better, you'll be better, and your teammates will thank you. Congratulations, you made it halfway through the video. Who would have thought that a movie that begins with a lawyer getting a DUI would have been so much fun? I wasn't expecting it. While we're here taking an intermission, would you mind getting into a flying V formation together and then liking and subscribing this video? Quack you very much. Number 5, Russ Tyler. Oh yeah, it's knuckle puck time, baby. Look, I played hockey, and I'm just going to get this out there. The knuckle puck, it's not really a thing. Let's just get that out of the way. But it's really cool for the movie, and it gives us a nice cross-sport reference, so it gets a pass for me. Not many hockey players come out of Los Angeles, so that's fun. But frankly, why is a junior hockey tournament being held there as it was in the second movie anyway? I am going to have to assume that there is a FIFA-level bribe paid to somebody somewhere to make that happen, but I honestly have no clue who would even benefit from that financially. So it's just a plot hole as far as I'm concerned. My favorite part of Russ Tyler, other than the fact that he's played by Kenan Thompson, excellent, is that he is a talker. His chirping needs work, to be honest, to be fair. If he spent a little time playing Junior B in Canada, he'd pick that up real quick. So I think it's a fault that can be remedied. Overall, great pickup for the Ducks in the second movie. Great scouting, guys. Number 4, Fulton Reed. This dude is 12 going on 30. He is a monster. And that slap shot is incredible. But come on, he's a tween, all right? It can't be real. I get it, it's a movie, but that can't be real. Moving on. I do like the toughness he plays with, and he loves his teammates. It's pretty obvious. He does take some bad penalties, but that happens when you play on the edge the way Fulton does. He's the ultimate risk-reward hockey player, as far as I'm concerned. I think my favorite part of him as a hockey player, though, is that his skating was absolute trash in the first movie, and they made fun of him for it. But then in the second and third, it gets way better. Still kind of trash, but better, right? How many of the Ducks can actually demonstrate that level of commitment to their craft with such a real and measurable improvement? Definitely not Charlie Conway, that's for sure, but I would argue he was the most improved player as you went throughout the films. Look, bottom line, Fulton took his job seriously and he played like it, and that's all you can ask for from this middle-aged teenager. Number 3, Connie Moreau. Apparently her nickname was the Velvet Hammer. Did anyone remember that? I didn't. As in, Averman, who, as discussed, is a clown, said it one time in the first movie and then never again, right? It's a dumb nickname, which is why it never came back. It's not her fault. Still a dumb nickname, but not her fault. I'm not holding it against her. This girl was badass. There is no two ways about it. Fiercely independent, not afraid to stand up for herself or her teammates. Even her drunk coach in the beginning, she was standing up for him. And look, not a bad hockey player, has to be said. She's also unbelievably loyal to the team, but in a less cultish, sell all your possessions way than Charlie Conway makes it, right? Charlie needs an intervention. I know this is about Connie, but we got to talk about Charlie. He needs help, okay? Though that said, she and Guy eventually do get married in the post-trilogy world, and they name one of their kids after Coach Bombay. So maybe she's a bit more effed up than I thought. Number 2, Adam Banks. I'm just going to start by saying that cake eater, as they like to refer to him, is not an insult. First of all, who doesn't eat cake? Cake is delicious. How is that a bad thing? How is that an insult? If I was Banksy, I would have leaned into it and been like, yeah, Jesse, I eat your mom's cake. And that would have just shut the whole story down right there. This guy takes so much crap throughout the movies, and it is so unjustified. It's insane. Like, he wants to stay on the Hawks in the first movie, and they chirp him for it. But like, of course he wants to stay on the Hawks. He was already on that team. His brother played for the Hawks. All of his friends were on the Hawks. Surely the Ducks could have just taken off their duck bias hats for a second and understood that as a person, as a human being, he wanted to be somewhere else. They also make fun of him for being wealthy. That's not something to make fun of him for, right? That's outstanding. Lucky him. It's just a dumb thing to chirp for. You'd never do that. Bottom line, Adam Banks is a stud. And if you look at the way he plays, he is a dynamo. He was Connor McDavid before there was Connor McDavid. The only downside of Banksy was that he was injured a fair bit in the movies, right? But that's only because he got all this negative attention on the ice, right? Haters gonna hate, and they hated Banksy. Hate us because they ain't us. Quick little nugget here before we get to number 1. Doesn't really have anything to do with the movies or with this video, but it had to be said. Terry Hall in the movies is played by Jussie Smollett. Yeah, that Jussie Smollett. Do with that information what you will. Number 1, Julie Gaffney. Julie the Cat Gaffney. Easiest call at number 1 I think I've ever had in any video ever. It's not even close. The idea that Goldberg got any ice time after she came along is the most unrealistic part of the entire trilogy. And remember, this was a trilogy that had a national team player who couldn't stop when they were skating. The only explanation for this, pure and simple, is sexism. There is no other explanation, right? Straight up. The only reason that they won the Junior Goodwill Games in that second movie was because of her. She was unreal. She stood on her head. She single-handedly stole the Iceland final, for sure. She's feisty, yet she's still friendly. She's a devoted team player, but she's independent and self-assured. She is everything that you want in a goalie, everything that Goldberg is not. She is number 6 on the ice, but she is number 1 on this list. And frankly, it is not even a competition. Anyone who disagrees with me, put it in the comments, but you are wrong. Quack, quack, quack. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Not on a reputable, highbrow, intellectually based channel like this one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you don't, I will see you on the ice for a 6 a.m. skating practice.